Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for 10 things we learned from the Premier League game week number 5. It's been a busy week of football. The final match of the weekend was on Monday flipping night. They've scattered everything around now. We all know why it is. It's TV and money, and football's going mad when it comes to finances. There's European Super Leagues, there's crazy things being discussed in the footballing world. I will speak about it in more detail when I believe my time is right to do so. But today, I know it's Thursday and the first game of next week is tomorrow, but we're going to try and get this one out over and done with. I want to do 10 things we learn after every single game week, and if you guys enjoy it, it would mean a lot to me and show that you guys like the diversity of the content by hitting the like button on today's video. Subscribe to GBFC if you haven't already done so. And without any further ado, let's go through the match results from game week number 5. And there was a very common theme throughout this game week of results, and that was draws. The first one of which we all know was Chelsea 3, Southampton 3. I've already gone over this game in quite a lot of detail as a Chelsea fan, but you know, credit to Southampton. I think if this is more of a balanced series where it's less focus on Chelsea and more focus on all of the other 19 teams that still participate in this Premier League, Southampton did well to come back, get a result. As for Chelsea, again, this weekend we go to Manchester United. We drew against Sevilla. The onus is very much on Chelsea coming together with some form. We've spent a lot of money on players, and if we carry on with the results that we're getting now, there's going to be a lot of questions asked, and there's already been a lot of questions asked about Frank Lampard. For Southampton's start to the season, it was another good away point for them. It's time for them to start building some momentum. Now we move into the second match of the weekend, and it was a very exciting one indeed. It was the Merseyside derby between Everton and Liverpool. It finished 2-2 at Goodison Park, and as Merseyside derbies go, I think Everton and Everton fans were looking at this one as probably their best chance to win a Merseyside derby, and I think it's something like 20 attempts. However, if there was one team that did deserve to win the game, it probably wasn't Everton, it was Liverpool. Liverpool had what, in my opinion, is an incredibly valid goal from Jordan Henderson, whose armpit was offside. I mean, there's a lot of new weird rules in football that a lot of us don't like. A lot of us don't like changes in rules when it goes against something that we're used to. That's just human psychology. But as for the offside rule, if part of Jordan and I can't even say his flipping name because this is so crazy. If part of his armpit is offside, like, for me, it takes away so much of what we love about football. The passion of scoring a last-minute winner in a derby, and we can no longer do that the same way we used to because of VAR and new rules such as armpits being... it's ridiculous. Like, I don't want to see Liverpool winning games of football as much as you guys don't want to see Liverpool winning games of football as a Chelsea fan. But I'm a football fan as well, and it really did ruin the game. There was Jordan Pickford's absolutely outrageous challenge on Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk. And again, I bring this back to a footballing conversation. Virgil van Dijk, in my opinion, is currently the best centre-back in the world. It was an atrocious challenge from Jordan Pickford, and again, no retrospective action taken from the video assistant referee. It begs the question one more time as to what really is the point of VAR if for these things that are genuinely extremely serious, this tackle could potentially end Van Dijk's career. It's no laughing matter. I do believe there should be retrospective action for Jordan Pickford. But at the same time, there's been a lot of career-ending or threatening injuries that have happened over the years in football. And we bring it back to the old adage of an eye for an eye, like it was a moment of madness from Pickford, but should that mean that he also misses the season because Van Dijk's going to miss the season? I think that would be a little bit extreme, but I still feel like a punishment would be necessary for Pickford. Everton 2, Liverpool 2, Everton still flying high at the top of the Premier League under Carlo Ancelotti. They're unbeaten in the opening 5. Liverpool without Van Dijk, I think it makes this title race an extremely exciting prospect. I think this season in the Premier League is going to be incredibly unpredictable. I mean, as much as I don't agree with it, I think realistically, the way that the UK government is handling things, I don't see fans being back into the stadium anytime this year. Probably not for the beginning of next year as well, as we struggle to keep things under control. So therefore, with no fans in the stadiums, it becomes incredibly hard to predict things. Home form pretty much goes out of the window. And who knows, Everton could still be there come the end of the season. If you're an Everton fan or a Liverpool fan, let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments down below. And we move into the next game, which was, of course, Manchester City 1, Arsenal 0. This is a good win for Man City. They've not really started firing on all cylinders yet. Arsenal have looked promising at times this season. There is definite improvements under Mikel Arteta, but Man City come away with the 3 points, thanks to a goal from Raheem Sterling, who continues to be one of Manchester City's most important players. I think the key thing we learnt in this game is that there is still a lot of quality within this Man City side. They still struggle defensively at times, but they kept a clean sheet against a good Arsenal side. And I think City are going to probably start building some momentum now. They had a good win last night in the Champions League as well. A nice 3-1 at the Etihad at home to Porto. Arsenal, I mean, they don't often do very well against City, do they? They obviously won in the FA Cup against them last season, but in the Premier League, it's still a little step too far. City get the 3 points. And we move into the next game, which was Newcastle 1, Manchester United 4. If you haven't seen the True Geordies rant video talking about Newcastle's performance, then you should definitely go and watch it. It was a very eye-opening one. I did watch this game and I was incredibly baffled by how poor Newcastle United were. Manchester United, obviously Chelsea have got them this weekend, so I was keeping an eye on them for that very reason. United didn't look great throughout large portions of this game. I know they had a hell of a lot of shots on goal, but they're playing against a very weak Newcastle side. Towards the end of the game, they showed how lethal they can be. You saw the link up between Donny van der Beek, Juan Mata. It was a brilliant finish from, I think it was Bruno Fernandes for one of the goals. Rashford looked very bright towards the end as well. United, I still feel as though there is a lot to go at with this Man United team for oppositions, and I think Newcastle, it was such a feeble attempt of trying to attack a weak side that realistically, with the amount of chances United had, 4-1 was a fair scoreline and it probably should have been a few more. So now we move into the first of many draws on Sunday. Sheffield United won, Fulham won, two sides that were desperate to get 3 points considering how poor their early season form has been. Sheffield United are really struggling. I think at the start of this season, I didn't expect them to be as good as last season, and obviously we've not seen them at that level yet. A lot of why they were so good last season was their home form and the influence that they had at Bramall Lane being such a difficult place to go. This year, they seem to be struggling both home and away. It was a good point for Fulham. I think they'll look at this as certainly a point gained, whereas Sheffield United, also in a desperate position, will have seen this one as 2 points dropped. It finished Sheffield United 1, Fulham 1. Keeping a close eye on Fulham this season now that Ruben Loftus-Cheek's in the side. He's being deployed in a preferred position in more of an attacking role, and Ruben's looking very good. I think the omens could be quite good for Fulham. Ademola Lookman looks like a decent player as well, finally, hopefully, fulfilling his potential for the West London side. Sheffield United 1, Fulham 1. We move into the M25 derby, Crystal Palace versus Brighton. It finished 1-1 at Selhurst Park. There was a first start of the season for Palace for Chelsea boy Michy Batshuayi. This game again, I look at two teams who on their day can play some really nice football, but they struggle to see matches out. And I think both of these sides would have been looking at this as an opportunity to get 3 points, not just against a rival, but to start building some early season form. Particularly for Brighton, I think they've put in some good performances so far this season. The results haven't favoured them. Crystal Palace, they've already gone to United and got a win. This draw at home wouldn't have been something they'd have been too happy about. They stay in the bottom half of the table. And then we move into Spurs versus West Ham in one of the craziest Premier League matches in living memory. 82 minutes in, Spurs are 3-0 up. In the first half, it was a Jose Mourinho masterclass. He got them playing some really nice attacking football. When this Spurs team click, it's pretty frightening. You know, as a Chelsea fan, I was looking at that first half performance thinking, blimey, Spurs, they actually could be challenging this season. And then in the most typical Spurs fashion, there's a late collapse and then a moment of just astronomical brilliance from Manuel Lanzini for West Ham. He wouldn't have hit it the same way he did, again, if he tried 1,000 times. It was the perfect connection at the perfect moment to secure an emphatic comeback for West Ham United. With 8 minutes to go, you're 3-0 down, away against a superior opposition to yourselves. To come back like that was absolutely insane. And West Ham, even if it would have finished 3-2, they'd have still taken a lot of positives from the way they showed fight late on, the way that they did try and create chances to score goals to get back into the game. Focusing on Spurs for a little bit longer, if they do manage to sort out this concentration problem that sees them Spurs everything whenever they get the opportunity to do so, they could be very dangerous. It's very unlike a Jose Mourinho side to see them give away a lead like that the way that they did. They did look so secure for pretty much, like 85% of the game, and then it all crumbled before all of our eyes in the most spectacular fashion. As for West Ham United, they've now got 7 points from their last 3 games. They're in pretty good form, and if they can build on that last 10 minutes against Spurs, then they could be in for a decent season. I'm quite surprised, considering I don't think they did great business in the transfer window. Lanzini with the goal, we've always known he's had something magical in his locker. It was an incredible game of football, and I'm glad I stayed at home to watch it. Is it really all that surprising that Aston Villa go to Leicester, keep a clean sheet, and win 1-0? Leicester in the last couple of weeks have looked poor. I think creating chances wise, they've not looked very good. Defensively, they do look very shaky indeed. As for Aston Villa, they maintain their 100% start to the season. 4 wins from 4 matches. It's been a blinding start for Villa. If anyone was wondering whether or not they'd be in another relegation scrap this season, then I think we all know the answer now. That's not going to happen. And the match winner, Ross Barkley. Supposedly he didn't train throughout the week for Aston Villa leading up to this game. He comes in, and again, when Ross Barkley's given the minutes, when he's given more of a freedom position on the pitch, obviously Jack Grealish is the main midfielder at Aston Villa, but Ross Barkley is doing very well so far from what we've seen since he made that loan move from Chelsea. He scores a late winner. It's a massive 3 points for Aston Villa in a game that I didn't actually see them winning. I thought Leicester were going to bounce back, get themselves a home win. They didn't do so. There are problems for Brendan Rodgers right now. They're falling away from the leaders despite very good early season form. And Aston Villa, that train just keeps on rolling. They're looking very good. Keeping hold of Grealish was an incredible bit of business. Him linking up with Ross Barkley. They look very dangerous. And teams that come up against Aston Villa right now will be very fearful of this form. They're building week on week. They're very good going forward. They look decent at the back as well. Aston Villa could be in for a good season. If you're a Villa fan, let me know your expectations. You've got a 100% start after 4 games. Are you getting carried away? Or what is the realistic goal for this season? Let me know in the comments down below. We then move into the Monday night kickoff, West Brom versus Burnley. It doesn't matter which way I look at this one. I have no idea why this game has been selected for a Monday night. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. It finished 0-0. West Brom, for me, they're one of the worst teams in this league. I do not see enough quality within that side. As for Burnley, you always know that they're pretty reliable to keep clean sheets, but I looked at this one before. There was no way I was going to watch it. I watched whatever highlights there were of this game, and quite frankly, it doesn't deserve any airtime here on GBFC. It doesn't deserve any of your time either. West Brom 0, Burnley 0. And then a very interesting game on Monday night, the final one we're going to discuss this week on 10 Things We Learned. Leeds United 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. 2 teams that play very good football, 2 teams that are very well organised. People were excited for this game, and I could see why. I thought throughout large swathes of the game, Leeds looked very good. And Wolves, they seem to have this grit. They seem to have this steel about them this season that is certainly going to see them be able to build on what was a very good season in the Premier League last year. They managed to win a nice 1-0 at Ellen Road. It was a game that they probably looked at and knew it was going to be tough because Leeds are going to be very difficult to beat this season because of the way that they play. Wolves carry on the momentum. They've got themselves 3 wins from the first 5 games of the season, 2 defeats in there as well. They're currently sitting in 6th place in the table. As for Leeds United, it's been a pretty balanced start to the season. 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 defeats. They're currently sat in 10th. You guys can see the Premier League table right now. If you guys want to see the return of the Premier League prediction series, then drop a like on this video and let me know in the comments down below, and I'll post it for you guys tomorrow before the Friday night kickoff. But anyway, that is going to wrap up 10 things that we learned, going over the results from last weekend in the Premier League. There is matches on Monday night again this week. I'll try and get it up for you on Tuesday with the Champions League and everything that was going on. Chelsea playing Champions League on Tuesday. I didn't want to upload this until now because I wanted to focus on the Chelsea games. But anyway, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. I'll catch you all tomorrow with a brand new video, and then we've got Man United on Saturday. Get excited, Chelsea fans. It's a big one. See you all later. Bye-bye.